All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at something that feels more important than ever, a real-world blueprint from a school that actually figured out how to create a digital classroom that's both successful and safe. So, let's get into it.
This is the question, isn't it? It's on the mind of pretty much every educator, every parent out there. Technology is this incredible tool, but it's also a bit of a wild west. So how do we walk that tightrope, keeping our kids safe while also making sure they can actually use these amazing digital tools to learn?
Well, get this. One school decided to stop asking the question and start building the answer. What you're looking at here is a document from the Ban Hoa Doi School in northern Thailand. And that name, Ban Hoa Doi, it literally means house on the hill, which is pretty perfect, as you're about to see. They didn't just come up with a few new rules. They created an entire documented playbook to solve this problem. Okay, so first things first. Let's set the stage. What was the specific challenge they were up against? Why did they need to build a whole new system from scratch? As it turns out, this wasn't just something they dreamed up on their own. The school was actually responding to a national mandate from Thailand's Office of the Basic Education Commission. The government basically said, hey, for 2023 to 2025, we need a major focus on using tech safely and effectively. And the Ban Hoa Doi School, they saw that not as a chore, but as a huge opportunity to do something special.
So, how did they respond? Instead of just buying some new software and calling it a day, they built a whole system, a philosophy, really, and they gave it a name that honored their community, the Howda Doi School model.
Now, this is the crucial part. This model wasn't just about putting up firewalls or blocking websites. It's an integrated program. Think of it as having two main goals. Goal 1, yes, create a safe online space, but goal 2 is just as important. Actively build up students' digital skills and what they call creative intelligence. It's about empowering them to be smart, capable digital citizens, not just walling them off from the internet.
So how'd they pull it off? This is where it gets really impressive, because they laid out their process so clearly. This isn't some vague mission statement on a poster. It is a genuine, step-by-step blueprint that really any school could learn from.
Their whole journey was just so methodical. Look at this. It all started with analysis, really digging into the national policy and what their own local community needed. Then they moved on to brainstorming, getting everyone involved. The best ideas from that session were then shaped into a formal project design. That led to the rollout, the implementation, getting the training and activities going. And only after all that groundwork was laid did they finally launch their safe digital classroom. This was no rush job. It was a masterclass in thoughtful planning. Of course, a beautiful plan is one thing. But did it work? That's the big question, right? Did their blueprint actually make a difference? Well, they were just as deliberate about measuring their success as they were in planning it. And they were smart about it, too. They broke it down into two key areas. On the one hand, you've got the hard data, the quantitative stuff. How many people did this thing actually reach? But on the other hand, you've got the qualitative side, the human story. What skills did the students really learn? And maybe just as important, how do they feel about the whole thing? Let's start with the numbers. And wow, when they measured the program's reach, the result was it was 100%. Not 90%, not 95%, 100. Think about that for a second. Every single student, from the first graders all the way up to the ninth graders, was part of this program. That is total saturation. That kind of buy-in is almost unheard of, and it means nobody got left behind. But reach only tells you so much, right? The qualitative feedback, the people side of the story, that's where you see the real magic. The school's report found that students didn't just attend the program, they were genuinely thriving. They picked up real, practical digital skills. They got better at critical thinking. And maybe the best part, they actually liked it. They reported high levels of satisfaction. So it wasn't just effective, it was an experience they valued. So what's the big takeaway here? This really isn't just a feel-good story about one school in Thailand. When you boil it down, it's a powerful lesson for any school anywhere that's wrestling with these exact same challenges.
There's a line in their report that just sums it all up perfectly. The goal was simple: create a safe digital classroom. So clear. But the result, because they followed that incredible blueprint, was so much richer. They ended up with skilled, satisfied students who are genuinely ready for whatever the future throws at them.
And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The House on the Hill School proved that with a methodical, human-first approach, you can solve one of the trickiest problems in modern education. They showed that a real blueprint for the future is possible. So it makes you wonder, if one school can do this, just imagine what we could all build together.